Big game right now, Michigan State.
Real big game.
You've been here a while. You're kind of a leader on the team. People are saying this is the biggest non-conference game in Autzen Stadium history. By the numbers, it probably is. How do you feel about that heading into this game? I know you guys always want to treat every game like a Super Bowl. Does this game feel different, though?
Not necessarily. I feel like it feels like every game. The way we're preparing is the same way. I really respect Michigan State and everything like that. So we're really just watching the film and making sure we correct the things that we need to correct to put us in the best situation to be successful on Saturday.
You guys have had a lot of experience playing in big games with ESPN and College Game Day in town and big kind of games of the week, so to speak, nationally. What have you learned from those past experiences that helps you deal with this week?
Me personally, I learned not to deal with it. Just block those outside influences out, much as possible. And just treat the game just like it is in practice. Work hard, run around, and communicate. You can't really put too much pressure on yourself or let those outside influences get in your head, because that's when things go terribly wrong.
Have you always been able to do that when you were younger? Your first few seasons here, when whatever the big game was.
Yeah.
Was it still easy to do that, or was it harder early on?
It was easy early on, because when I came in, that's the culture that I came into. So Chip will always say, win the day, win the day, win the day. Win the day. Every game is your Super Bowl. Take one day at a time. When you pick your head up in December, we'll see where we're at. Just grind it out. So I came into that. I came into when we went to the national championship. So that was my first year. So that's all I know. So I'm one of the only guys who were really brought into that when it really was exploding. So that's all I do know.
Right. Cool. How do you assess your defense from last Saturday against South Dakota? How do you think you played?
The defense as a whole, I think we did pretty good job. There's some things, some areas that we need to work on and fix, but there's nothing big. It's like really little minor mistakes. First game jitters, getting it out, but I feel like it's going to be a big jump. Carry over from the way we played the first week to the second week. I feel like we only could elevate our game so much. So I'm really excited to see what we do this Saturday.
South Dakota got some yards. I know
yeah.
Guys, fans and people outside the program look at them as an FCS team putting up some yards and maybe think there's cause for concern. Why is there not a cause for concern?
Because it's our first game. We held them to 13 points. We had a big victory. They played hard. They're still a football team and everything like that. So I feel like we had a pretty good game overall. We stopped a lot of things that they tried to do to us. There's a little minor mistakes that we just have to clean up. But it's early in the season, so we're only going to progress from here on.
People want to compare Michigan State to Stanford. Is that a fair and accurate comparison?
I feel like that, Michigan State and Stanford have a lot of similarities. They're both big and physical, but I feel like Michigan has a little bit more skill players, everything like that. But they're both still top dominant programs, who coach very well, very disciplined. I could tell by the way that they block, they don't really hold. I could tell that they don't get penalties too often, everything like that. So they're really, similar in that aspect as they're fundamentally sound football teams. But I feel like there's some differences.
What did you learn from playing against big physical teams in the past? How do you deal? How do you handle a team?
Necessarily, you got to be precise in every one of your movements. You can't be in the wrong gap. You can't be on the wrong hitting with the wrong shoulder. You got to be in the right place at the right time and just do your job. As long as you do your job, you can stop the run. You can stop all their weapons that they're trying to pursue on you. But you really just have to do your job, and you come out successful.
Connor Cook, the quarterback. People call him one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah.
His stats were great against Jacksonville State. How do you handle him? He looks like he has some big receivers. Is getting pressure on him key? How do you deal with their passing off?
Pressure, trying to get in his head, trying to make him think that he's seeing something that he's not. Little things like that. He's a great quarterback. I seen him the way he was running around, keeping plays alive, throwing to this huge receivers. I'm like, these receivers look huge. But but just like little things like that, just make sure, playing with his mind, just playing our normal game that we normally do. Nothing out of the ordinary that we're gonna do differently.